really good job by our guys. The way Jacksonville came out and jumped us early with their emotion and their energy, I think gave us a little shot, and it was exactly what we needed. We challenged our guys last week to take a punch and practice with that in mind this week, and I think they answered. Really proud of the guys who you saw go in at the end of the game there. Those guys absolutely won the game for us during the week. So I was really happy to be able to get those guys in the game because they gave our starters such a great look through the week. They almost won the last scrimmage we had on Thursday against the starters, and the energy in that practice gave us a lot of comfort going into the game, knowing that we were prepared. So I'm really pleased that I felt like today was an indication of this is a team win. And for us, that's what we're in this for, to build great teams. And I felt like we saw a good glimpse of that today.
Tim Schwartz from the Annapolis Capital.
Hey, Joe, what did you see there in that 9-0 run? I mean, you guys really dominated in all three facets there.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with Jacob Giroux. He did a great job of doing exactly what John Orson told him to do, and credit to that kid. He didn't take one face-off last week. And when we were getting our tails kicked in facing off in the fourth quarter last week, he probably should have went in the game. And I texted him afterwards. I told him we won't let that happen again. He didn't complain, and he just does his job, shows up every day. And today I'm really proud of him for doing his job and really helping us earn this victory in a large way.
Patrick Stevens, Lacrosse Mag.
Hey, Joe, just wanted to ask a bit about Durden's goal in particular. How much of a jump start was that for you guys there late in the first half?
It was a big jump start, Patrick. Look, Jacksonville plays so hard, and John does such a really good job of building the energy. So a lot of their success is built on emotion. And early on in the game, I felt like, they broke our ride, the first goal of the game. That gave them some energy. Then they got another one that people would say is a cheap goal, but it's a goal, and it's built on energy. And I felt like if we just kept making little plays, we would get something that is a little bit unorthodox. And Jackson Bonnets picks up a ground ball and finds Jeff Durden 60 yards away. The pass was unbelievable. And then Jeff, I was almost going to call timeout. He just sticks a shot, and that gave us a large boost. Just kind of it made us settle down, or more than bring us to a higher level. Because I felt like there was some nerves, there was some anxiety on the sidelines and the way we were playing, and we needed the play. And Jeff, as a senior, he did what he was supposed to do and made a play.
Also, with the just with the way the defense played in general, obviously not having the ball a bunch made it a little bit easier. But in general, how would you kind of characterize the defensive performance, especially after the first 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, look, I don't think we were playing bad defense to start the game. I'll be honest with you, Patrick. I felt like, we called off the ride early. One, they broke us, and we didn't want to give them any more emotion. But also, two, John and I, after the first possession, we agreed if this is a 60-minute half-field game, we feel like our defense is in a good position. So let's win it there. We felt confident with our athletes. I thought the scheme that John put in place, our guys were on it, and they were seeing the things we needed them to see. So we felt really comfortable defensively in the box from the start of the game. And I think you saw it. We've got some athletes down there. When they do what they're supposed to do, they're going to be pretty good.
Ward Carroll, Sing second.
Hey, Coach. So the second half obviously was a lot different momentum than the first half, but so was the second half, the second quarter. Were there any specific adjustments you made coaching-wise? You talk about momentum and stopping the ride and different things like that, but were there any specific coaching decisions you made at that point? Because it really looked like a completely different game from that point on.
Yeah, the major thing, Ward, was we pulled off the ride and tried to make it a half-field game. That's the way, because it got too crazy there early on, and it just didn't go our way the way we needed it to. And I just felt like we needed our kids to calm down and let's limit the amount of just kind of emotional opportunities for them. And let's try and make it a workmanlike, grinded out performance. In a day like this, that's probably the way most games are going to be won, when it's raining sideways and the stick work isn't on point. We just needed our kids to get to a point where they could calm down a little bit, especially those midfielders. I think you saw those guys running like chickens with no heads at some points early on. But then once they got more comfortable and the game settled in, they were allowed to play. They allowed themselves to play more confident.
Thanks, Coach. Good win.
Thank you.
Phil Bergman,
Hey, Coach, Jackson Bonnets, how pleased are you with his efforts 2 games into his career?
Solid. I mean, he's very impressive. He really is. I mentioned the pass he made. Those are the plays you don't expect a freshman to make, and he makes them. He picked up a couple of big ground balls. When he's on the ball, I think everybody takes a little breath and is calm and feels comfortable. He does his job, and he's just such an unassuming kid. He doesn't know how good he can be. I think others do. So I'm really proud of him just being a steady performer for us, someone who's reliable. After 120 minutes of college lacrosse, I think Jackson Bonnets is a guy who we can say is reliable for us.
We'll talk to Jacob about this, but how do you like the new face-off rules 2 games in?
Time will tell. I thought the officials actually, they refereed the face-off position excellent today. They allowed us to play, where, watching some games across the country, there's a bunch of violations and it becomes frustrating for both teams. And I just felt like today they allowed the kids to play and face off. So today we like the rules, we like them. There's going to be days where we're not going to like them. But today we did like them. I think it gives our athletes a little bit better of a chance in the middle of the field. So, time will tell how much I like them or don't like them. But today was one of those days where it was a positive.
Okay, I'll make one more trip through. Tim Schwartz, you good? Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I got one more. So this freshman class, I know it's a highly touted class. You keep mentioning Jackson and the role that he brings. Just talk about the 2 games in, the type of potential that this team can have with the mix of the young freshman class. You got a couple of sophomores and senior leadership as well. What do you like about the team so far through 2 games and kind of the mix of youth and veterans?
I feel like we're not relying on just one aspect of lacrosse. There's not one guy on offense. There's good pieces on defense. Certainly there are some people who are stepping up and everyone's going to notice, i.e. Jackson Bonnets, Nick Franchuk, Tim Griffin. But I feel like there's a lot of really good pieces down that end of the field. And offensively, if you look at the score sheet, you've got Jonathan Giroux with 3, Max Hewitt, Bryson Ree, Pat Skalniak, James Flannery. Those are all guys who are no older than sophomore. And Christian Daniel has accepted his role. He's not doing more than he should. He's a senior who the ball's been in his stick a lot for Navy the past few years, but he has accepted his role and he's being a leader. And we get to 12 today because everybody bought in to the plan, and hopefully these guys just continue to grow up. Our potential and our success later on in the season is going to be determined by how mature these kids can be moving forward.
Coach, when we talked to you on the podcast, they were still in the ISO period for the team, and you had some concerns about how they might emerge. Obviously, winning solves a lot of problems. But with respect to going forward, where do you think you are on the progression line with respect to this team's talent at this point?
I got to say we're pleased. We're 2-0, and being 2-0 in college lacrosse is not easy. Again, with no matter who you play, So to be 2-0 and figure out how to win, I think is really important. That's the first thing. There's a long list of things that we need to improve upon, but I feel like our guys have bought into that process and will continue to buy into it. But everybody, not just us, every team out there is living day by day. We're at the mercy of this virus, and we're going to continue to just try to do our best to stay safe. And whatever gets thrown our way, I feel like our group can handle.
What did you see there early on that you guys were struggling with, and what clicks for you guys?
First off, I just wanted to give a shout out to Jacksonville. They're a really well-coached team. They fought hard. They played a great game. And everybody on the defense, I think at first we kind of struggled with clearing the ball a little bit, but then slowly it started to click, and I felt like guys were just making plays. Our defense played really well.
What did you see in that 9-0 run? It looked like face-offs, offense, you guys started clicking on everything. Was it, can you kind of pinpoint it on 1 or 2 certain things?
I think Giroux did a very good job winning faceoffs. Gave us a lot of opportunities to make plays, and the coaches put us in great position to make those plays. And I think that we just capitalized on those.
Phil Bergman.
Hey, Phil Bergman, Navy Sports, NavySports.com. It was a physical game out there. The refs seemed until the end to be swallowing the whistles. You like that style of play?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Jacksonville is a very physical team, and I think that we kind of fit that mold as well.
Walk us through your goal. What was that like?
I just got the ball in the clear and kind of looked open, and my teammates did a great job of getting wide so that way their guy couldn't really slide to me, and just credit to them.
How the conditions out there affect the game?
Oh yeah, the conditions were like very difficult. It was kind of tough to hold a stick at some points, but I think it played well.
Thank you.
Patrick
Thank you.
Stevens.
Hey Jeff, just given how things have been so tight for you guys on offense, did you feel like there was a little bit of a sense of, I don't know if it was relief is the right word, but did you feel like guys kind of relaxed a little bit after you got that goal to kind of get things going there late in the first half?
Yeah, I wouldn't really say relaxed, but I think just the coaches put us in, like the offense into like a good spot in order to like make those plays, and the guys on offense really started to click, and just the goals started to drop.
And what about just at the start of the second half? You guys had obviously tied it at that point to be able to basically do whatever you wanted there for the first 6-7 minutes or so of the third quarter. Seemed to break things open for you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
I was going to say, did you feel what happened at halftime there after you guys had tied it up to kind of allow you to break things open there early in the third quarter?
Yeah, absolutely. The coaches just kept getting on us, telling us to like play our game. And I think that they had a great game plan, and it just all started to click. Giroux started to win a bunch of faceoffs, which obviously helped. And yeah, I think it just all started to fall into place.
Ward Carroll. Ward, do you have anything?
Hey, Jeff, to double down on Phil's question, it seems like you guys really came alive when it started to rain, like worse. I know, you said it was rough out there, weather conditions, but it got really rough. Did you see the noticeable difference in the weather getting worse? And was that an advantage in the second half?
I'm going to be honest, I didn't really necessarily notice it. We just kind of like try to stay focused and stay on the game plan, and I think that really helped. And like whether the weather is good or bad, I think that we just kind of like play our game, and I think we're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. That's it for me, Scott.
Tim Schwartz.
Hey, so just talk about the freshman class. Obviously, it was a highly touted class coming in, and you knew that those guys are going to come in and help right away. But what have they brought to the first two games here? And especially today, it seemed like a lot of those guys stepped up in the key moments to get you guys on that run.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're a super hardworking class. Can't say enough great things about them, whether that's on the field, off the field. And I think that it just shows today that whether it's on the field and they're making all the plays, or whether it's off the field and back in the classroom, they only excel in our team.
And last one for me is, what did Coach say at halftime? Did he give you guys a rah-rah speech, or, what was the message there at halftime? You guys tied it up there late, but you guys still probably weren't playing very well.
Oh, no, it was all he said was just play our game, stick to the game plan, and things just started to go our way.
Thanks.
Phil
Thank you.
Bergman.
I'm good. Thank you.
Patrick Stevens. Ward Carroll.
So, Jeff, going forward, how do you guys feel you are? Coming out of the ISO period, I know the brigade's back in lockdown because of COVID. How are you feeling in terms of where you are in this part of the season and going forward?
Yeah, I think it's definitely tough with everybody being like all in the same dorm. It's just all about being disciplined and just trying to stay with our team and just keeping that bubble as tight as possible.
What was working well for you today? It seemed like first half you were pretty strong, but that third quarter, I don't think you lost a faceoff.
I just want to give credit to the coaching staff. They really set us up for success as a faceoff unit, and our wings too. We really scouted this Jacksonville guy, and Coach Orson found kind of a flaw in a way to beat him, and allowed us as a unit to take advantage. And the wings were a big help with boxing out the guys and allowing me to be free on these ground balls.
And what's it like seeing your brother out there and competing with you? And I know you guys played together before, but what's it like as a teammate watching your brother score a hat trick in his first game?
Oh, that was awesome. Every time he scored, I was screaming. I was just seeing him out there and scoring, especially as a freshman. I was like, wow, that's awesome. I wanted to try to get an assist or something to him on a fast break or something, but didn't work out. But it was awesome to see him out there.
Patrick Stevens.
Hey, just wanted to ask a bit about Durden's goal and how much you feel like that kind of sparked you guys as a team there late in the first half.
Yes, I want to give credit to like the bench brought so much intensity, especially on that goal. I think when Jeff scored, like it was almost a momentum change, just because of our bench was so crazy and brought so much intensity that it really like revived our team. We kind of woke up and started to like turn things on.
Obviously, faceoffs had a fair bit to do with that run there in late first half, early second half. But in general, what do you think ultimately was the biggest factor? I mean, was it that Durden goal, or was it just simply you guys playing a little bit better than you had earlier in the game?
I think it was just like our coaching staff really motivated us, told us they challenged us all throughout the week and even at halftime, just to do what we do, bring the intensity and be tough. And I think that really like allowed us to like realize, all right, we know who we are, we got this, and we figured it out and we turned it on and brought the intensity, and they couldn't really stop us there.
Ward Carroll.
Hey, Jacob. So it's interesting you say that the scouting team found a flaw with the face-off technique. Can you tell us specifically what that was?
When he lost the clamp, he would tend to, I guess, fish hook in front, if you know what that is, and it allowed the through the legs to yourself wide open. So Coach Orson really like found that and like emphasized if you're wanting to clamp to do that, and it really worked today. And I got to give credit to all the other face-off guys because it was a really intense week of practice for the five of us. And I mean, it was like we're all pretty equal, I'd say. Like it was back and forth, and I couldn't like give enough credit for like the whole unit like preparing all of us for this game.
Yeah, you got to love it when the intel pays off. Keep
Yes,
that
sir.
in mind going forward.
Bill Bergman.
Hey, 2 games into the new face-off rules. How'd you like them?
I really like them just because I guess you're more of it brings the face-off guy more into play. It's not as much like just pop it out to your wings. You're more on like all the ground balls since you're standing up, and I think it's just more fast breaks, more face-off action. So I really enjoy the new rules.
How has the transition from to traditional grip and also getting off one knee been for you?
I've really liked it. I think back in high school, I would stand up quite a few times on face-off, so it wasn't a tough transition, but I do enjoy the new rules a lot.
Thank you.
All right, I'll make one more pass through. Schwartz.
Yeah, for you at the face-off X in this weather, is that an advantage for you? Is this something that you're comfortable in? I mean, what's it like kind of being down there in the mud and in the rain and the wet?
I wouldn't say it's an advantage or a disadvantage just because both teams are experiencing the same conditions. But I think our wing unit, just as a face-off unit with the wings and everything, like I think definitely we were, I guess, more prepared. We had two long poles on the wings, which really helped with the scrums there. And I guess even when they would get the ball, we were able to double the face-off guy and get it back. So I think it did benefit us, but it obviously didn't benefit either team. It was kind of a equal disadvantage.
That's all I got. Thanks.
Patrick, I know you're good. Ward Carroll. Ward, you good?
Well, let me just put a finer point on Tim's question with your technique. Is there anything you do different in wet conditions with the face-offs? I mean, a 17 of 23 is really dominating. So is there anything that you did different in the wet weather that you wouldn't do in dry weather?
Well, no, nothing really. I'd say I went behind more just because it was wet, so the ball was slipping out of the stick a lot. So you weren't able to pinch and pop forward as much. So I think that's why I kind of just like shoveled it behind. But other than that, it's pretty similar, I'd say.